Can you hear us, John?
Hello.
Hi. Thank you so much for calling. How are you?
I'm good. I'm actually John Linnell.
Oh, this is John Linnell.
I'm the other John.
My apologies.
Yeah.
My apologies.
No worries.
Well, thank you so much for calling. How is Tennessee treating you?
Just fine. Yeah, it's lovely weather here. Very, very pleasant. Yeah, it's great.
And you were in Chattanooga last night. Now you're in Nashville. Do you guys go downtown and walk around Nashville, the music capital of USA, pretty much?
Sure. Yeah. No, we're absolutely into being tourists during the day. Doing the city up. Absolutely. We're not in Nashville yet. I'm still in Chattanooga. We're going to take the bus in about an hour. And head to Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. I hope you have safe travels, of course. We are in hour 6 of They Might Be Playing, They Might Be Giants. And I got to tell you, we've got a lot of people listening in this year. And they're very excited that you guys are going to be doing a sound check tonight, as we are as well. I'm excited to see. Yeah,
I hope it goes okay. Yeah. I mean, we're just going to be playing from the stage.
Yep.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, might be kind of rough, but it'll be raw.
We're here for all of that. Whatever happens, right. We're definitely here for it. But thanks for calling in, and we were expecting folks around 1, so I bet people are just freaking out right now, which is great. But we do of course have some questions that we have from listeners. Would you be up for answering some questions?
Of course, yes. I'll make up fictitious answers to questions if I don't have any real ones. But
we have a whole crew of fact checkers behind us, prepared to hand us a slip of paper saying, "I don't think he's telling the truth."
Yeah, okay, good. All right, that's fine.
No,
fine. I'm still gonna, I'll stick to my lie, whatever it is.
Well, I have a question myself. I'm interested, since I know you are down in the land where these are in abundance. Do you have a go-to Waffle House order?
No, I'm not. Yeah, I haven't been to a Waffle House in a long time, actually. So no, I don't. I don't want to. Good luck to all chain establishments, I say, but I'm not a huge fan. I've always found their bacon to be a little bit dry and cardboardy, and maybe that's just how they like it. I wouldn't presume that it's a problem for people, but yeah, no, I had a breakfast in the local place here. There's a train station across the street that's been converted into a kind of a coffee shop, or part of it has. Here, I guess maybe it's a hotel. It was the old train station in Chattanooga, which obviously they made a big thing out of the Chattanooga Choo Choo reference.
Yep.
So I think it's actually called the Choo Choo, and there's a street called Choo Choo Avenue that runs alongside it, and but if you get past that, it was a decent little coffee shop there.
I'm a big fan of a greasy spoon, like a mom and pop greasy spoon. So that's probably where I would go hang out. But we don't have. That was good. We don't have Waffle Houses here, so I definitely go to Waffle House.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I suppose if it's exotic, we spent a lot of our early years being forced to stop at Waffle Houses. So I think I had my fill of it then. Although, actually, I remember this. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering this correctly, that we were touring with the band, I think it was the Lemonheads, and they were huge fans of Waffle House, and they were very into the fact that the Waffle House had a jukebox with Waffle House specific music on the jukebox. So there were a bunch of songs that were written that were specifically about Waffle House on the jukebox, as I recall. But this was many, many years ago.
In fact, you can collect those 45s, the Waffle House 45s.
Okay, so
if you're so inclined.
I look them every once in a while. I'll look them up on eBay. They're pretty easy to find.
Wow.
Not necessarily the cheapest things on the planet, but.
Oh wow! So you guys know all about this? Yeah. I thought maybe I dreamed it.
Oh no! That's the real deal. But
Okay.
We do have I'll get to some of our listeners' questions. Paige in Massachusetts wants to know, what was the last movie that you saw in the movie theater?
In a movie theater? Oh, right. Yeah. Well, I think if I'm remembering correctly. Oh no, it was right. It was One Battle After Another. We just my wife and I just went and saw that in the local movie theater, and that was terrific.
Yes.
I recommend going to a theater to see it. That was good. Yeah.
Is there, if you guys are on the tour bus or all together, is there in the years past a movie that you guys watch on the tour bus together? Maybe you watch it over and over?
No, we don't really do that. I mean, it's kind of sad, but we actually, years and years ago, we'd have a TV on in the bus, and that sort of got sidelined when everybody, this is going back a long way, but at a certain point, everybody got laptops, and then we were all just sitting, each looking at our own laptops.
Sure.
On the tour bus. I know that sounds kind of miserable, but that's that was the. I mean, we talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking up from the laptops and chatting, but yeah, that did there was this kind of shift in a way in the kind of screens we were looking at.
Sure, that makes sense. So you weren't watching Spinal Tap over and over.
No, we didn't really. A long time ago, we had a TV on. And one of our guys this was like way back in the day, he burned a DVD of like a million like Simpson episodes and Family Guy and stuff like that. And so that was playing a lot, if nobody was doing anything, we'd sit and watch that. But that, again, that was I'd say 25 years ago or something like that.
Has They Might Be Giants ever been like on The Simpsons, a character or anything like that?
No. I think some of our music has been on The Simpsons, but we have never been asked to participate.
Well, if they're listening, they need to right that wrong. If anybody from The Simpsons, that seems like a natural.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I don't know whether it matters that much anymore to us, but yeah.
Well, we have a question from 10-year-old Martha in Scotland, who is wondering, do you have any superstitions?
Superstitions. Well, I have like neurotic behavior. I don't know if that counts. I have some like ritualized things that I do that are, like everybody has probably some kind of pointless, irrational thing that they do over and over again. I'm trying to. I know I have a whole raft of them, and I'm trying to remember what they are right now. Yeah. What are those? And they don't even count as superstitions exactly. Well, this is a really dumb and not very interesting one. I'm very uptight about how I load the dishwasher. Like it needs to be done in a kind of a semi like obsessive compulsive way, I think. So like I put everything in a certain order, like things go in certain places to make it incredibly efficient and compact, and other people in my household don't do that. So I will actually rearrange the dishes in the dishwasher if it's not the way I do it.
I feel you.
That's I have a limited and very specific form of craziness that consists of stuff like that.
Do you have any like pre-concert or pre-show rituals that you'll do every time?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think all of us do actually. And again, they're not, there's nothing really too horrible about any of them. But yeah, I think we all have, there's kind of a countdown to the show where we're all doing specific things. Marty likes to warm up by drumming on the couch. He'll play patterns on the couch right before we go on. Some of us, have a kind of a schedule of like you recline, you try and relax completely, and then right before the show you drink some stimulant like coffee or Coca-Cola or something like that. And I know Flans and I are both in that category. And then right before we go on, some of the guys in the band do like a version of fist bumping, except it's not fist bumping, it's some other weird thing where they do gestures, and I can't even quite describe what that is. But that is absolutely a ritual that people engage in, like moments before we get on stage. They'll do like little, fist bump followed by like a mock explosion that you make with your hands something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we have a question from Haley in Philadelphia. Is there, and Drew in Arizona asked the same, and I think other people did as well. Is there any news on the release of the 1985 demos?
Nope. I don't have any. I don't have any information about that. I mean,
okay.
The 1985 demos are almost identical to our first album, so I'm not even sure what the excitement would be. We basically mocked up the first LP in the form of a cassette that we distributed in 1985. It was a year before the first album came out, and then we more or less repackaged it as an album when the following year. So that's pretty much what you get. It might. I would characterize it as an inferior version of the first album. So if you're looking forward to that, God bless you. I don't know of any plan to release that.
Okay.
Well, Cal in Wisconsin is wondering, what is the story behind the kids singing "Particle Man"?
Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't coming from us. It was. I think it was. Put together by their teacher, or something. And I don't know anything else about it. I know that we got a hold of the recording and we're delighted with it. But we had nothing to do with the original production.
Okay. I have a question that is a little bit of a, well, no, this will work. From Shane in Kilkenny, do you have a dream collaborator that you'd like to work with? And Tim and I added this part on. They could be dead or alive.
Living or dead. Well,
yes.
I don't have anybody in mind, but I love the often that people have that response to the question, if you could have dinner with somebody living or dead.
Yeah.
And then so that, my favorite response to that I've heard is people say, I would say J.D. Vance dead. I would have dinner with J.D. Vance dead.
There's nobody that you'd like to
collaborate with.
To collaborate with? If you could go back in time and work with like I don't know, Mozart or something like that? No.
I'm sticking with my original answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll work.
We have Cecilia in St. Paul who's wondering, how do you choose your cover songs?
Well, they're few and far between. We don't do a lot of covers, but occasion. So it's because it's a unusual thing. I think something really strikes us. Flansburgh heard the song "New York City" by the band Cub on the radio, and he was really transported by it. So he was super excited when he heard that song, and somehow he tracked down, figured out who it was and tracked down the recording of it. But that, so that was one, and then of course a long time ago we came up with Istanbul, not Constantinople. I think that was one that we just felt like we could do a kind of a interpretation of, different kind of interpretation. We have a cover that we've recorded that we have not yet released, which is the Raspberries song "Overnight Sensation," also known as parentheses hit record. And we've learned how to play it as a band. So at some point, I guess next year, we're going to start performing it live, and it will be on the upcoming release. So that's one. Again, it was a song that we both really loved when it came out back in the day when we were teenagers, and I think I just thought, and John thought, that it would be a deliciously ironic thing for us to talk about, A, having a hit record, and B, being an overnight sensation.
I'm a big fan of your Starry Eyes cover. That was one of the Dial-A-Song songs.
Yeah,
such a good song. Yeah. Tim has a song that he would love if you guys, every time we played on the air, he's like, this would be the best
Queen
song.
of Eyes by the Soft Boys. You guys could crush that.
Okay. I'm not even sure if I know that song. I'm trying to bring it up. I can't recall how that one goes.
I'll sing it for you.
But I'll check it out.
It's a Queen of Eyes. It's Robin Hitchcock. Yeah. That is a good song.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you guys do covers so amazingly well. And
Thank you.
I especially love they usually show up in the Dial-A-Song songs, like when you did I Was Dancing in a Lesbian Bar. That was really fun. The Jonathan Richman cover.
That was another one. It was such an unusual song from an artist that we've been fans of Jonathan Richman for, again, since we were teenagers, and it was really kind of a great surprise track from him. So yeah, I think that was one of those ones where we felt like, okay, we can do this.
Well, you just mentioned the new album. Is there any kind of teasers that you could give us to make people go, oh, tell me some more? Anything like an album name? Or
I think I just, yeah, no, I mean, I think I've just given you the main teaser, which is that cover song.
Okay.
It's done, really. It's just we're just shining it up a little bit, and it will be out at the beginning of next year, and we're pretty happy with it. I will say, leave it to the people that decide. But I think it's a good effort on our part.
Oh, fantastic! Something to release to look forward to in the new year. Have you had the issues of all the box sets that are out as of late? Are you inundated with having to get box sets, vinyl box sets, or do you? I'm
not sure what you mean. What do you mean by having to get them?
Speaking as a collector, this has been a very expensive fall season for amazing box sets.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much of a dud as a record collector. I think Flansburgh would be probably the person to ask. But
okay.
What were the good box sets that came out?
Well, the big one was the last David Bowie box set. They put out all of his work in a big, massive box. So this was the final one that just came out, and that was the big spender one as well. But since I have all the other 6 ones, I was obligated.
Holy moly, yeah.
Yeah. But like Numero just put out this great live Husker Du collection of a show from 1985 called The Miracle Year. That's amazing.
Oh, that's great. And they're your local boys.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's a show from First Avenue as well. So.
That's terrific.
Yep.
That's great.
Yep. And boy, what else? The
Nick Drake making a 5 Leaves Left album. That has a bunch of deep stuff and demos. So good, very intimate.
Cool.
The latest Dylan and gosh, a lot of them.
It's just been an expensive fall.
Right. Yeah. Well, Christmas is coming, so
yes,
you can make some nice gifts out of those.
Melissa in Michigan is wondering, are you a member of your local library?
I am, yes. In fact, I'm carrying my Brooklyn Public Library card in my wallet, although I really don't exploit it as much as I should. But they've gotten very high-tech, as I imagine libraries across the country have, where you can now get digital versions of books, download them. And, of course, the other thing is you can check out books and then renew them online and stuff like that. And so the library's kind of gotten more interesting and fun.
Yeah, I agree. I was just in my library the other day looking for books, which I guess maybe this is a good time to ask the question that I imagine is coming at some point. What are you reading on the road?
Okay. I have, what I just finished, my wife and I actually read a book together, which is unusual, but we were kind of both interested in the centennial of the Virginia Woolf book, Mrs. Dalloway. She's kind of obsessed with Virginia Woolf right now. So we both read Mrs. Dalloway. I had it with me on the last leg of the tour, and that was terrific. A very, very enjoyable, very modern kind of book in a way, which is it's as I said, it's a centennial. So it was 1925, and she wrote a book where instead of dialogue, it's really just this kind of stream of consciousness of each one of the characters. So you're visiting the mind of each character in succession, sort of moving from one to another. And it describes a single day in London and these various characters, various Londoners' activities, and really terrific book. I just very much enjoyed it. So that was good. What else? I can look at my reading list here because I've got it in front of me. I have read. Let's see. Right. So I can't remember some of these I may have read more than a year ago, actually. I don't know what ones I talked to you about last year. But I read Jennifer Egan's Visit from the Goon Squad. That was quite good. I haven't started this, but this is one of the ones I'm excited about. Me and Stan Harrison are both, the sax player in my band, are both fans of this guy, Benjamin Labatut. And I may have mentioned another book of his last year, which is called When We Cease to Understand the World. But he's written another book called The Maniac. And the thing that distinguishes his writing is he writes about historical figures, but a lot of the details are made up. So it's sort of somewhere between fiction and nonfiction, but very beautiful, interesting writing. He writes mostly about scientists, actually. That's kind of his thing. So I'm looking forward to this next one, which I'm forgetting now who it's about, but it's somebody specific in 20th century science, I think. And who is it? Anyway, he's terrific. I recommend Benjamin Labatut. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong.
It's a fun word to say, I think, though.
Yes, it's got a fun name to say. And speaking of science-related stuff, there's a couple who write graphic novels about colonizing space, among other things. and they are, hold on, they are named Kelly and Zach Weinersmith, or maybe Weinersmith, I don't know which. Kelly and Zach Weinersmith, I think she writes the text and he does the illustrations, and they write sort of things about, the problem of colonizing outer space, and they're very skeptical about all of it, and they write very, very well researched and deep kind of and very hilarious explanations of the problems that we face if we're going to colonize Mars, for example. So that was good. I enjoy their stuff a lot.
We had a listener who had a question about that. Owen in Massachusetts said that in the past you've both mentioned that you wanted to be a graphic or a comic book writers when you were younger, and wanted to know if you have any recommendations for some comic books that you're reading now or graphic novels.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of stuff well, of course, there's Kelly and Zach Weinersmith who write those interesting books. But I'm a huge fan of Kate Beaton, and I think probably everybody who's interested in graphic novels knows about her now. But she wrote very hilarious historical comics, comics about, short comics about historical figures, really just crazily funny and talented person. And then more recently, she wrote a book called Ducks, which is about her experience as a young person working in the oil fields of northern Canada when she was her first big job away from home. And it's a much more serious story. It's an account of like the sort of bleak lives of people working out on these oil fields, and her kind of harrowing experience doing that. But it's a really good. I recommend that one. It was really good story.
Cool. And I have a question from somebody who's listening out behind us in the studio. Quinn wants to know that when you do the album like Here Comes Science, do you have to put a lot of research into the songs that you're writing for that?
Well, we have to, but we probably are falling short of doing the full job. When we did that project, we actually had a guy with the New York Hall of Science in Queens vetting what we were doing, and so he probably saved us from a lot of mistakes. He was checking out what we're doing and making lots of notes for us, and I think that we mostly cleaned up the science based on his advice that we were doing. But I think there were still some probably some factual errors or some little bit of sloppiness that got in there that was not his fault. We were just, we were doing our best. But yeah, we had a lot of help.
Yeah, I would think so. You cover a broad range of science on that not everybody
No, I mean, it was,
have a working
we felt
knowledge
like we knew
of.
what we were doing. Yeah, I mean, we're not educators. We don't necessarily know what we're talking about, but we tried to make it as legit as possible. I think maybe that one of the things that he was trying to steer us about was like there's songs about applied science, which, for example, electric car, which is not so much about what he would have described as science so much as just technology, So he was kind of advising us like, there's a difference between science and technology, and you guys should focus on the science. So, it was stuff like things like that, that he was helping us with.
We just had a question from Lo in South Carolina saying, are there some more, or what are your memories of the TV interviews that you've done over the years? Specifically, he points out like the 120 minutes or late night shows. Did you have some favorite TV appearances that you've had over the years, or some that
yeah, I
were
mean, no, that was a total. No, I think generally that was fun. It was kind of this weird, very open-ended thing. I think we were, we did go on 120 Minutes a bunch, and they were kind of letting us run wild with suggestions and ideas. We made up a song for 120 Minutes, which was, unsolicited. They didn't ask us to do that, but we were like, all right, we'll sing a song, and then it'll be recurring. It'll be a recurring thing throughout the show. We'll be singing this song, and so stuff like that. We also were invited to, I think, because they kind of could see we were happy to just completely make stuff up and improvise, that we were asked to be on the Nick Rocks program, which was the kids program on Nickelodeon. And so we did a whole bunch of segments for that. And again, it was just very, very improvised, ad hoc kind of stuff. Really just completely fun. Just we were goofing around the whole time, and they were perfectly delighted to have us do that. So yeah, those were fun. I mean, the TV, the talk shows that we've done were definitely more stressful, I would say. Doing Letterman or The Tonight Show was felt a little more high pressure, and we'd be kind of nervous and sweaty, and the whole thing was in a way. A lot, but also just the way it was structured, I think, generally was more nerve-wracking, and everybody kind of acknowledged that. Like, it was like when we did The Tonight Show, I remember one of the musicians, the guy who arranged the song we were playing, would make jokes like, "Can I do anything to help you guys be more nervous? Is there anything I can do to stress you out?" Oh my gosh! More. But on the other side was Conan was always actually way more relaxed and fun, and we did about 1 million Conan appearances, and they the crew and everybody there were super fun, and that was always a gas, actually.
When you were doing those shows, did you ever get to, when you're in the green rooms, meet people that were also on the show at the same time, that you were just like, I can't believe I'm shaking this person's hand?
Yeah. Is there anybody that you just can't believe you got to meet?
Loads of people, yeah. I mean, also we talked to people who, while we were sitting in the couch, that was a whole thing where you after the performance, you'd go, if we went to the couch, you'd go sit there and chat with some person who would, be some, often semi-famous actor or somebody, and they would say, "I remember you guys when you played in the East Village, I used to go see you." And we're like, "No way, shut up."
Do you remember any of those people, who those were?
Yeah, there was Bill Pullman was one. Talked to him a little bit, and he was the one who said that thing about the East Village. I mean, there were loads of people. Who were they? I've blanked on all of them. But it was. I mean, it's a thing about meeting a celebrity. Is like, it's just, you don't have time to really become best friends, obviously, but you're like, "Hey, what's up? High five."
Well, did we cover most of the questions that we wrote down?
I think most of the ones that we wrote down. I see one here from Jonah in Minneapolis. It's kind of interesting about when you're bringing songs into the studio. When you and John have a song that's ready to record, do you generally have the whole thing written out and thought out beforehand, or does it really take shape when the whole band gets together and starts playing?
Well, it does to an extent, but I would say John and I are so uptight that we don't want to waste any time when we're actually paying for studio time. So we tend to make demos that are very much, this is how the song goes. we very rarely change the structure of the song. The song is kind of laid out in the form it's going to be, and we do demos where it's, the drum, bass, and guitar parts are more or less laid out, and then there's room for those guys to apply their considerable talents and ideas. The three guys in the basic band are very much, they have loads of opinions about how stuff should go, and so we absolutely listen to them and draw on their creative thoughts as well. But I would say we don't want to waste too much time trying to scratch around for an idea. So we try to make the song sound complete as a demo. Obviously not with real people, like the drums and the bass, and in my case the guitars are all fake sounding MIDI generated things that we put together in the in our home project studios, and then these guys make them sound much more real and delicious.
I have a question from Ozzy in Saskatoon, Canada. Are there any 40th anniversary plans for the Pink album next year?
There are no plans, but that's. Are
you going to have a birthday party somewhere? Could we all be invited?
Yes, we'll have a birthday party, and you're all invited. But no, we're notoriously bad at planning. We had a plan for a 30th anniversary of Flood, and that completely fell apart when the COVID.
Well, you had plans that you couldn't help what happened.
Yeah. No. There were plans, and now we've learned to stop making plans, I think.
Well, that's a good. And there's also a question about if you happen to know when No might be released on vinyl.
Oh, that Flans has been on the vinyl front, and he struggles with, because part of the problem is that a lot of these pressing plants are, he's arm wrestling with these guys all the time to try and get a good sounding product, and the quality control is a big concern, and I guess it's a struggle apparently to get a good pressing going, and there was a time when we were young people when the standards were much higher, and now it's difficult to get a good sounding record press. So John's very on top of all that, but I don't know where we're at with No, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think there's also a tendency for people to do colored vinyl, and then the colored vinyl never sounds as good either. They look great.
Oh, really?
But
yeah. Okay.
They just don't sound that good.
It's a trade-off. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I've got to jump on a bus and go to Nashville.
Yes.
So we should wrap up. I should wrap up. But it was great once again talking to you guys. I appreciate it. I don't know if you have any more final questions or. No,
I think we're good. And safe travels to you. We'll be hearing from you again sometime around. It's at 5:00 again. You get to do a little time change. So we'll be chatting with you guys later on this early evening. But thank you so much, John.
My pleasure, and looking forward to playing some songs from the stage for you guys. We'll see how that goes.
Thanks so much, John.
We'll do our best.
Awesome.
Thanks to you guys. Yeah, and thanks for doing this every year. I do very much appreciate it.
Oh, and I gotta I tell you this every year, but we're getting so many requests and everybody just sharing so many great stories about how your music has made such an impact on them and their lives, and there's just so much love out there in the world for you guys, and so just want you to know that in case I bet you I'm assuming you guys know that from the audience at shows, but we just can't tell you enough how much we appreciate all that you guys do.
It's nice to hear it. Yeah, that's great. Thanks so much.
Thanks, John. Safe travels.
And all right, talk to you soon. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.